but it's just a different set of problems. And I also, you don't want me to say this perhaps, but it's true that a lot of the fever, texture, the way the magazine has been shaped in the last, now coming on 6 years, is because of an event that occurred here and in Washington. Not to say that there wouldn't have been a lot of foreign affairs related material in the magazine, because I'm innately very interested in it. Not to say that there wouldn't be a lot of people going to South Asia or the Middle East or trying to figure out this discombobulated administration that we have, but it's just hasn't stopped. I mean,
yeah, but I find it interesting you think the seminal event occurred in Washington. The seminal event that, just a sec though.
Yeah,
Let me. What shaped your magazine happened here.
I said New York.
Okay.
Downtown. I'm sorry. 9/11 is what I mean. I don't mean to be oblique.
Because there are twin preoccupations in terms of, I think you've done a great deal to advance our country's understanding of the fact that this president likes war and doesn't seem to be very good at it.
Not good at it.
Okay. Politically, I would give you your magazine less points because I don't think you've really, it's, you know, you open up Talk of the Town and it's somebody whose head is just about going to turn, whether it's Rick or whoever it is, going to turn to red mist, just talking about the Bush. And then you look for the deeper sort of Washington-oriented reporting on the ground. And I think that the muscles that are demonstrated around foreign affairs, around world conflict, around the military, I don't know if you're doing as well on the political stuff.
I don't know. I think that Cy Hirsch probably broke the biggest story of the Iraq War, which is Abu Ghraib, which changed everything.
I'm talking about Washington, though.
Yeah, that is Washington in the sense those stories don't come from being in Iraq. Cy's never been in Iraq.
Right.
Look, do I think that we have dominated that story? I don't know. This administration has been a little bit. What do you say after a while? What do you say? In other words, the early obvious things, right, all the deficiencies, were all true, and we all tied ourselves, as we do in the beginning of every administration, tie ourselves up into knots and to find, no, he's not really disinterested in the entire world, actually something. And then it turns out, actually, there is no mediating intelligence in the White House. Actually, what people thought in the very beginning about the power of Dick Cheney and the errancy of Dick Cheney is completely true. It's your own lying eyes that would deny
Yeah, but some people bought into the fact that this was a necessary war. Oh, let me see, you were one of them.
No, David, what I thought was that it was absolutely necessary to deal with what turned out to be a phantom.
Right.
Which was weapons of mass destruction, which had been in Iraq and had been used in Iraq and had been used against Iran. And like almost everybody in the country,
our shop played a huge role in.
And your newspaper did more to inform us of that phantom than anyone alive.
Touché.
And Cy Hirsch and Bob Woodward and all the intelligence agencies in the world, Russia, France, Israel, even the neighboring Arab countries, blew this in an unconscionable, almost even to this day, incomprehensible way. Was I like The Nation? No. Was I like Nick Kristof? No. And I think it was a mistake not to be, obviously.
Well, part of what that leads us to, I watched you talk with Senator Barack Obama. And is that on your website? I thought I saw.
It was for a long time.
Yeah,
and I think it still is. This was at a convention. It sounds like a Shriners convention, but it was an ASME convention.
I wore a funny
in Arizona.
In the spirit of things.
And Obama, before he announced for the presidency, came out just ever so innocently to raise some money and to appear in front of 400 journalists.
If you ever,
and I interviewed. I was in your role.
This is addressed to the students in the audience, but if you ever want to see real-time journalism, how it is performed. How you know, lick their face a little bit, get them to cuddle up to you, and then give them the zinger, and then pat them on the head.
But you know, it's not, though, because let's, for example, the exchange we just had about
Right.
Iraq was performance and not journalism, because if it were journalism, you would hit me a lot harder, I would answer it great or late.
I would have used my, isn't it true,
yeah,
sir?
but we would go at it without having to impress or be defensive. So
All
interviewing...
right, journalism is performance art. It was beautiful.
Yeah, but you know, he's great at it. Boy, is he good at it.
But here's the thing,
He's
you know,
not
you went there, you asked the question about the drugs, and he just came right back. Of course I inhaled. That was the point. And it was so deeply satisfying to be sitting there and going, at last, we're speaking about something that really is, that is true. And so I think to myself, you guys endorsed last time, yes?
We did. And the reason why you even bring it up is that the New Yorker had never endorsed a presidential candidate before. And I found it, and the reasoning was this.
You were compelled by John Kerry's excellence.
Exactly, that was it. And his capacity to fight back to this day. But the reasoning behind that was we have a comment every week, we have a politics. On the most important thing, every 4 years we're going to take a pass. It was a kind of hidebound tradition that I thought made no sense. I brought it up the first time, meaning when I was an office holder in 2000, and I kind of got talked out of it. And then it came up again, and I didn't get talked out of it. And also the sense of urgency was even greater. Remember, when Bush was running against Gore, there's no secret that the New Yorker would have endorsed Gore had we done it the first time. But Bush in the campaign, a compassionate conservative, kind of like his dad, although maybe a little less schooled or whatever it was. The dimensions of the disaster were not knowable unless you were a foresighted genius.